morning, everyone. My name is Carla De La Torre, the Director of Family Engagement for the Val Verde Unified School District. It is my absolute pleasure to be sharing our family engagement model today, as well as everything we've learned along the way, and showcasing some of the partners, some of our partners in this work. So we are very, very excited. We are Val Verde. We are very grateful to be here today. We were going to be going over again things that all of the important lessons we've learned along the way regarding family engagement, and we also like to highlight the partners, our partners in this work. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our superintendent, Mr. Michael McCormick, as well as our assistant superintendent, Mr. Lenore, and they're going to share a little bit about who we are as a district and the importance we place on family engagement, as well as its sustainability.
Thank you, Carla. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mark Lenore. I'm the Assistant Superintendent in Val Verde. And if you're not familiar with Val Verde, just to set a little context, we are located in Riverside County, about 20 minutes south of Riverside, right next to March Air Force Base. Our district covers the city of Paris and sections of Meade Valley and Moreno Valley. And so we have roughly just under 20,000 students. We're about 84% free and reduced. Roughly 78% of our students are Hispanic, about 12% African American, 4% white. And roughly about 20% of our students are English language learners. We have about just a little over 1% foster youth and a little over 4.5% with homeless youth. Just to also set a little more context and direction, I'm proud to announce our superintendent who originally had the vision for our Family Engagement Center, Mr. Michael McCormick, who's going to talk to you briefly just about how we tie in the goals of our family engagement to our overall goals of the district in involving our Board of Education. Mr. McCormick?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you. I'm sure that people would criticize me for this, but I've never been a huge person on like a multi-page strategic plan. My experience has been if you can get something on one sheet of paper, chances are that it'll work its way through the system and people will really know what it is that we're trying to do. And so you can see our local control and accountability plan and our board goals are right here. And we have kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major areas, one of them being community relations. And when Carla and I first met years ago, Dr. De La Torre, she said, I've got this idea. I want to partner with California Association of Bilingual Education. They've got this great program. And it's really a parent empowerment program called Project to Inspire. And this was like, oh gosh, I want to say like 12 years ago. Yeah. And so today that remains as a priority in our Board of Education's goals. You can also see there, we want to partner with our community around health issues, technology. English is a second language. You're going to hear about some amazing things. We've got parent classes that just go on and on and on, lots of different offerings. And one of those parents actually walk away with a free computer for the house. So super excited about that. And, literacy is a big thing for us. In fact, you can see the board's #1 goal is reading by 3rd grade. And so as part of our community relations efforts, we've really wanted to have an increase in summer reading and feeding programs and building literacy throughout the summer for all of our students. And so that is a priority that's front and center for the Board of Education. We also want to enhance our relationships with local businesses and partner agencies and nonprofits. So they can learn about what we're doing, but also that they can partner with us and we can see where we can braid our services together to better support our families and our students. And finally, kind of the measurable goal for this, and you'll see later on in the presentation, was to kind of track each interaction we're having with our families along the way. Just pre-COVID, we were at 10,000 families we were serving annually through various workshops, events, connection points. And so this is something that I've just been so proud of. And anything that you do that's worthwhile and good takes a team. And I feel like we've got the team in Val Verde that's just the gold standard under Dr. De La Torre's direction. So that's it for me. I'll turn it over to the next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. Thank you, Mr. Lenore. That was wonderful. Our family engagement approach is built on 3 core principles. The first being families as valued equal partners, meaning we listen to the priorities, the ideas of our community, rather than telling them what's important, what matters. Together, families, community, school district, we define what means most to us, the collective we, and then we co-create what needs to happen next. Second, we celebrate the already existing cultural and familial, societal knowledge that our families bring to the table. In fact, that's really the heart of our work, is connecting those rich knowings with our school knowings so that families can take their place at the table as change agents in their child's education as well as in our community. And lastly, and most importantly, our model is centered around parent and family leadership, where families take a very active role as leaders within our school district. And we'll have more examples on that to come. Okay, and so how do we put our approach, those 3 core principles into action? Well, we do that by leading with our ears. We listen. All that we're able to offer families today is a direct result of what parents have told us they want through surveys, interviews, focus groups, by observing our family advisory committees. Parents have helped us develop numerous offerings, and all of those offerings kind of fall into one of these 5 categories. So we have supports for academics, of course, support for adult education. We have a robust adult education program and a lot of adult education ribbons or threads throughout our actual family engagement center. Family leadership, health and well-being, and then family networks of support in general. So just bringing families together to network to support one another. I think it's also important to highlight that because of parent voice, all of our offerings are very representative of our community. Currently, we come together around the specific priorities of English learner families, African American families. We've had an influx of Guatemalan families who speak other languages outside of Spanish, and so we're building supports there. Our Asian and Pacific Islander families, as well as foster families and families experiencing homelessness. We have dedicated meetings and specific supports for all of these families, as well as families in general. Okay. We also want to highlight the structure of our family engagement model. We use a 2-prong approach where we are both a centralized model and a differentiated model. Centralized in the way that we have a district base of resources, as discussed in the previous slide, where families from any school site across the district can participate, therefore ensuring equity and access to every single offering within the district. But we also run a differentiated model for sites based on their own local control. So a principal has a menu. They can choose what their site needs or wants. They invite us out or the services that we provide into their school setting. And this, of course, is in addition to the organic initiatives that the sites run on their own, things like math night, reading night, etc. And here to speak to us about family engagement at the site level is Denny Seagrave, principal of Triple Crown Elementary School.
Thank you, Carla. I'm pleased to be here today to speak with you a little bit about kind of the autonomy that our school sites have been provided to provide more personalized experiences and workshops for our families based off of our site needs. I've been fortunate to be in our district for a little over 17 years now and have seen the impact that engaging our families and creating this partnership can have on our scholars' achievement levels. And so it truly is essential to have a strong partnership with our families. And this autonomy to create these personalized experiences has really been an amazing support that our Family Engagement Center has provided. So for example, our school site has our district's flagship dual language immersion program. We are currently in our 6th year of implementation. It is an incredible, high quality, rigorous program that our scholars have had an opportunity to partake in. Our families have had an opportunity to engage in. But it has caused, a need for us to provide supports for our families as they're moving through this program. And so we've had the opportunity to work with our Family Engagement Center to provide specific workshops for these families in the area of early literacy, computer-specific programming, writing across the disciplines, etc., both in the target language of Spanish to support those families in dual language immersion, but also in English to ensure that our families have the necessary tools so they can help their children in the home. In addition, not just building parent capacity in regards to supporting their children in the home, we also like to engage our parents in some of the enrichment pieces and the celebratory sides of the things that go on at the school site. So I know that Carla mentioned earlier on about the importance of valuing the various cultures of our community. We participate in programs and events such as our Dia de los Muertos event, where our scholars get to go home and work with their families on learning more about their genealogy, and then coming back to the classroom, inviting our families in and sharing what they've learned and honoring their family members. We also host international days every spring. In a traditional year, bringing our parents on campus. In a virtual year, of course, we'll look a little differently, but allowing our scholars across the board to really dive in and learn about the various cultures in our community, and then share their learning through the arts. And so it's been really an amazing partnership, and we've valued the Family Engagement Center and their work with us.
Thank you, Danny. Now we're going to turn it over to Erica Velasco, our Family Engagement Specialist.
Hi, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with you all today. You're going to hear a lot of great things that the Family Engagement team has accomplished throughout the presentation, but of course, it is not a one-man show. It does not happen in silos. The Family Engagement team, along with the support of our superintendent, of course, Mr. McCormick, who's joining us here today, our Board of Education, the cabinet, site admin, and classified staff, we've been able to do all this work. Our team, you already met our director, Dr. Carla de la Torre. You will also meet our manager, Ms. Ileana Dodge. We have a newly appointed African-American Parent Engagement Specialist, TOSA. We have our 3 wonderful community liaisons, our secretary and bilingual clerk also, and our wonderful, wonderful team of parent leaders who are always supporting us and very active in all the events that we have. And I wouldn't feel right if I don't give out a special shout out to our wonderful interpretation team. We do have our supervisor, Claudia Espinosa. She's actually here today supporting us, interpreting for this presentation. So a huge shout out to them. They're always very, very supportive. And what can I say? It does sound very cliche, but the teamwork definitely makes the dream work. And that has been our experience. And you will be able to see that for yourselves. And I'll pass it on to Ileana so she can continue sharing more about everything that we do here at Val Verde.
Thank you, Erica. So yes, I'm Ileana Dodge, manager of family engagement at Val Verde Unified School District. And as Erica was saying, we could not be able to do everything that we do without the collaboration of our partnering agencies. And to that effect, I would like Ms. Luz Gallegos to share perhaps a few words of what our collaboration has been in recent years.
Thank you, Ileana. Hello, everyone. My name is Luz Gallegos. I work for TODEC Legal Center. TODEC, we're an immigrant justice organization. We're also a legal service provider. And I really want to highlight our Parent Engagement Center with Val Verde. Working and organizing the community, especially the immigrant community as it is, we are a border region here, Paris, Moreno Valley, all the way up to TJ. So we're so used to seeing Border Patrol roaming our streets, separating families. So there, especially these last 4 years have been really heavy for community. And I do want to say that Val Verde Family Center, Resource Center has been a hub not only for providing services, but also for healing and a support. And the collaboration that we've had for several years now with the district has been very, very impactful for the community, and also for, well, most importantly for our students, but also for their families, as a lot of our students that we have been working with through the center, many of them being undocumented, protected under DACA, maybe some of them were not protected under DACA, really working together as it relates to providing them the opportunity to seek further education has been very key, especially with Val Verde. I'm very proud to say that our district, Val Verde School District, was highlighted as being one of the districts in the nation to have the most AB 540 California Dream Act students apply, and this was a very impactful collaboration of the district and us at TODEC, as we were working together to alleviate a lot of the fears, not only from the kids but of their parents, as they were double thinking if their kids should go on to higher education because of the fear of accessing these Cal grants that we have here in the state of California. So through this collaboration, working together, not only organizing parents and their kids to let them know that, you know, this was an opportunity, was so impactful for our immigrant community, and having a space that they could really trust was impactful, and also bringing the resources to the schools. The center is not transactional. Our parents really see that as their home, as a family, as all of us partners are working together with Val Verde School District to bring resources and to bring support for the families that we serve here, which our highest population is Latinos. And so as we see these fears, the center has really created a space for community. And we are very thankful for our superintendent and all our staff that we have here at the center, that we see each other as family, as we're working with the common vision to really empower our kids and our families so they could go on and beyond with their dreams. So I really, we're very thankful for the collaboration and trust of the center, and allowing us as organizations to really bring in these resources. I know we bring in different resources, not only you know, the support as far as free immigration, legal services, but also community education, know your rights, everything that the family needs so they could go on and beyond. As our kids, a lot of them, you know, we have to make sure that we're addressing all our students' needs, not just the educational piece, but also their fears as it relates to, you know, many of the times their instability here in the United States. So I really want to highlight our Val Verde School District and the partnership and the leadership that we have. And we are very grateful that we continue working with our center. And as we continue seeing even with COVID, the fast response that the center, we started working with them to deploy, to promote a lot of our financial assistance that we had through the state with the families here at the center, and really creating really intentional programs that really address the needs of our families as they're trying to support their kids through the education.
We thank you for the collaboration and the beautiful partnership that we've been able to develop over the course of these years. I also wanted to highlight the partnership that we have with Borrego Health Foundation. Heidi, would you like to share a few words with our participants?
Will not miss this opportunity to brag about my Val Verde family. It is so easy to talk about the amazing work that you all been doing, and for us to be part of it at Borrego Health, it's been such a privilege. Borrego Health is a nonprofit federal qualified health center. We run several community clinics, and we also have a fleet of mobile units, mobile clinics, that in partnership with Val Verde have really opened access to the families of the communities they serve, to be able to provide the valuable services, not only because it's a school requirement for children to receive their physical immunizations, but because it is our primary goal that by opening access to these services, we build healthy communities, and that at the end of the day has an impact on the academic lives of these students. I was looking at our historical data, Ileana, and I want to share with you back in 2014, when you and I were first exploring the possibilities of this partnership, you wrote an email to me, and your closing statement in that email was that you believe that Borrego and Val Verde share the mutual goal of providing quality of services to the community we serve, and that by pursuing this partnership, we're going to make it a reality. And it's been a roller coaster for sure. But one of the things that hasn't changed is that mutual goal. And every year we put our minds together and we strategize different tactics of how to reach our communities. This past year, 2020, was no exception. It came in a blur with all the immediate changes we had to do. By March, we had closed down all of our sites. The plans that we had about bringing the mobile clinics, we had to shut those down because we were not quite sure how to proceed. But by April, we were back at it again. We did a lot of Zoom meetings with parents, providing access to our medical providers so that they could ask those questions and get the information from the source of these professionals, because they also were curious to know, how do I protect my kids? How do I protect my family? And all of you provided that valuable platform so that we could get that message across. And time again throughout the year, we kept engaged with the families through you and making sure that they knew that the access was still available to them. We launched our telehealth and telephone services where a lot of families were still able to connect to their provider, our providers, and get those questions answered. COVID testing, now COVID vaccination. It seems like it's an ongoing. And I'm very optimistic now for 2021 and this new school year coming on board. We are already talking about doing, starting up again, ramping up the primary care, sport physicals for our athletes, immunizations, those insurance enrollments now that, as we know, unfortunately, a lot of our families lost their source of income. And so with that went also their insurance coverage, and to be able to do that comprehensive case management that we are known for and create that patient-centered medical home. And not only at our clinics, but also at your school sites where as we have said before, the safety net of the community is places where they trust. And now they know that we're here to stay for a long run. And so, Ileana, that last statement on that email has stayed true, and it has stayed very close to my heart. And I could have not said it any better than how you wrote it to me. It's an honor to serve. And as I say, you guys are part of the Borrego family, and we feel part of the Val Verde family as well. Thank you for the opportunity to continue to work with you. And who knows? 2021 is here, 2022 is around the corner, and we have great plans. We can't share those just yet, but just know that greater things are yet to come.
Thank you, Heidi. I really appreciate your kind words. Please know that none of this could happen, the collaboration, if we did not have the support of our visionary director, Dr. Carla de la Torre, and of course the support of our higher leadership, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Lenore. You've been with us throughout this journey, so that's why we're here today. Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Dr. de la Torre so she can continue.
Okay, so looking back over the years, we started in this work, like Mr. McCormick said, way back like 2011, 2012. And I think one of the biggest lessons that we've learned is that family engagement happens on a spectrum, where it takes on many, many different forms, sometimes very visible, sometimes not so visible, but both are equally important. We've witnessed parents carve out their leadership within their own homes, within their own neighborhoods. We've seen parents exercise their leadership on advisory committees in a very traditional way. We've seen parents go back to school and continue their education, becoming employees and even teachers within our school district. We've seen families as a result of just getting connected with other parents, they become inspired, they start their own businesses, they run some of the nonprofit organizations within our own communities. So for us, we've really witnessed that there's no one single way to do family engagement because it's extremely, extremely dynamic. Here we want to show our gratitude for Tony, for CABE Project to Inspire. Again, we began partnering way back in 2011, 2012. And by the time we were handed keys to open our very first family engagement center, when we opened our office in 2014, we were in such a good place. We were ready to go that we got the keys, and the very, very next day, we were already offering parent-led Project to Inspire classes the very next day. And so it was a very, very proud moment. And so we just want to give a shout out to Tony and to Kabe. We appreciate our partnership.
Thank you, Dr. De La Torre. So going back to the how, I just want to highlight that we offer the 5 areas of support, and we create a list of course and service offerings that we'll put in the chat so that you can see what we offer every semester. We offer one in the fall, one in the spring, and of course one in the summer. And we try to address all of the areas, all of these 5 areas. So how do we get the message out to our families? Communication, as you well know, is key. We have the valuable support of our interpretation team, translation team. But also we use, in the past, we used ParentLink and Blackboard, and now we transferred over to AriesCom. We're able to get text messages, phone calls, and emails to our families. We use PeachJar, we use Twitter. But something that is very characteristic to our group is that we offer person-to-person phone calls. Our team calls our families individually, and that is something that we do regardless of all of the classes that we offer. So we do try to make meaningful connections with our parent leaders. So also word of mouth is important as well. And so in the 5 areas, I just want to highlight certain things, offerings that we do. We offer classes or informational sessions on CAST. Dr. De La Torre mentioned the CABE Project to Inspire leadership programs. We offer in adult education, we offer ESL classes, GED classes, and that is through the Family Engagement Center, but also we're very proud to have our own adult education program. Mr. Lord, do you want to share something about the adult education program?
Yeah, I'll just talk real briefly about it. Through all of our work, we just kept asking, what else can we do? And about 2-3 years ago, we started an adult education program. We didn't have our own program, so we worked something through Moreno Valley Unified and went underneath their umbrella. We're part of a consortium like many other adult education programs throughout our state. And through that involvement and through the research, we learned that in Riverside County, there was no greater need for adult education than within our school district boundaries. And so we just recently started this past year on our own. It's really taking off. We have roughly about 500 people enrolled so far. And it's growing exponentially very quickly. And so we want to run this program through a branch with our family engagement. And what we've learned also is that with adult education, sometimes word of mouth really is the best way to help promote your program. And so our Family Engagement Center has been a huge asset in just getting the word out with the programs that we're offering.
Insofar as the health and well-being area, we touched upon that. Ms. Heidi Galicia talked about the collaboration on the mobile health units. Hopefully, we plan to have a site-based clinic soon, and so that's in the works. And for parent networking support, we offer one example is a Strengthening Families program, and that is highly successful. So we just have, right now we're in the Zoom world, but we did want to share these pictures because these pictures say it all. Our families are very, very happy with these classes. And insofar as parent leadership, we have beautiful collaboration from our parent leaders. Recently, we've been strengthening our Val Verde African American Community Circle, and that's been quite a successful endeavor. One of our parent leaders is here today, and she may be addressing you in a moment. Larger events that are, in addition to all of the other events that we do, in the past we've offered parent engagement symposiums, very successful Spring Family Reading Festival, and now I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Erica Velasco.
Yes, thank you, Ileana. So at the Family Engagement Center, how do we know what events or classes to offer? How do we know what our families need? And because it wouldn't be right to just offer a bunch of events and just really hope that families will show up. We probably wouldn't be too successful doing that. So we have to be intentional about our offerings and really listening to our families and their needs. And how do we do this? Well, we do this by using different tools such as surveys, interviews, observations, focus groups, our parent advisory committees such as DLAC and our African American Community Circle, just to name a few. And our findings using these metrics, they really help us determine our path. They tell us if what we're doing, if we're being successful, or if we just have to shift our focus. They really are our guiding compass at this time. And as you can see on the screen, the beautiful comments from our families that they share after attending one of our events, they really speak for themselves. Our families truly value our offerings, and this tells us that what we're doing is exactly what they need at that time. And this comment in particular, it's really touching as you can see how they're attended one of the classes that TODEC, our partner community, just share Luz. And I just want to read the words. So they helped us with my oldest son through this process, which is the DACA process. Thank you. Thank God he's graduating from college in a year, and now my youngest is graduating from high school this year. They also helped us with my son's DACA. Thank you. As you can see, the parents are, it's changing their life, and it's really powerful to see that and know that we are part of that. We have some amazing parent leaders that are joining us on the call today, and we also want to hear their perspective, which is also very powerful. So joining us today, we have Ms. Georgina Monjaraz, Mrs. Kama Burton, Ms. Maria Elena Castro, and they will be sharing about how is it that their involvement in their children's education has impacted the family. I would first like to invite Ms. Georgina Monjaraz.
Buenos días, gracias. Soy Georgina Monjaraz, madre de familia de aquí del distrito de Val Verde. Mi experiencia de ser una madre involucrada en la educación ha sido muy significativa para el aprendizaje de mis hijos, ya que nuestro distrito de Val Verde nos brinda todo el apoyo por medio del Centro para la Participación de la Familia, donde nos ofrecen capacitaciones y orientaciones en las cuales nos informan de los diferentes programas y apoyos que están disponibles para nuestros hijos. Asimismo, dentro de las escuelas podemos consolidar lazos fuertes entre maestros, alumnos y padres de familia, con el propósito común de lograr el éxito académico en nuestros alumnos. Me considero una madre de familia afortunada de pertenecer a un distrito que ofrece una educación integral y que nos hace sentir parte importante de esta gran comunidad educativa y que se preocupa, además se ocupa de cubrir todas las necesidades de los padres de familia, pero sobre todo de nuestros alumnos. Gracias, Distrito Val Verde y al Centro para la Participación de la Familia por su arduo trabajo. Ay, me emociona estar en este distrito. Por su arduo trabajo y por estar siempre innovando y actualizándose para brindarnos siempre las mejores oportunidades en general, física, mental, académica. Gracias por estar preocupados por nosotros, toda la comunidad educativa. No puedo decir nada más como padre, sino que es sentir una unión familiar entre todos los trabajadores del distrito, padres de familia y sobre todo nuestros alumnos que se sienten acogidos y apoyados. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Gina. Thank you, Gina. Now we like to invite Ms. Kama Burton.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Being involved has been actually great for my family. I wasn't involved in school for quite a while, and when I realized they had the African American Advisory Committee where I can be a parent under the African American group, I began to get involved and been involved ever since 2015. And the way it's impacted my children, my daughter, she was having some problems in high school, so I learned how to build a parent-teacher relationship with with this teacher. I watched how her grades improved. I have a son still there that's in 11th grade. He was my my child that I had some issues with, very hard to deal with in school. And due to the parent engagement and involvement, I've been able to help him and have resources around me to help. Even now, I'm so happy to say that he's in school right now, because he didn't do the greatest during this time, but at the school he's at, Orange Vista, they've been pushing and helping, and to help him keep on track to graduate for next year. But I will say, without the parent engagement, I'll be honest with you, with being involved, I don't know where my 11th grader would be right now. He's still a work in progress. I'm still there to support, and I will support my kids and support the district. And as a community member, continue to support throughout my years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kama. And now we would like to hear from Ms. María Elena Castro.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Marilena Castro. Tengo dos niños en el distrito de Val Verde, uno en el 11 y otro en cuarto grado. Desde los primeros años escolares de mi hija, he tratado de estar involucrada en los diferentes comités, ya sea en las escuelas y en el distrito. He participado en las clases, talleres y en los diferentes eventos que el Centro de la Participación de la Familia organiza. Incluso he podido yo dar clases o pláticas a otros papás. Al ser una mamá bastante involucrada e informada, sé que puedo orientar y aconsejar mejor a mis hijos en lo que a sus clases se refiere, o a su futuro, ¿no? Y a ellos les da la confianza de preguntarme o sobre sus dudas o sobre qué hacer, porque saben que pues sé de lo que están hablando, o que sé cómo puedo orientarlos. Al verme ellos involucrados, yo los he visto que eso los motiva a estudiar más y a participar en las diferentes actividades de sus escuelas. De ser mis hijos un poco tímidos, han pasado a poder participar en show de talentos, en obras de teatro. Incluso mi hija ha podido dar pláticas o pequeñas conferencias. Un evento que me enorgullece decirlo, ella dio una plática en frente de todo el personal del distrito al inicio del ciclo escolar. Y era una niña súper tímida. Creo que, y estoy segura, no nada más lo creo, que el ser yo una mamá involucrada y el mantenerme informada es una buena manera de motivar a mis hijos y de darles un buen ejemplo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you to our wonderful parents. And there you have it. That's our report for everything that we do. Dr.
Yeah, thank you. So here you have our participation data that Mr. McCormick was referring to in the beginning of our presentation. As you can see, up until the pandemic, we were seeing steady increases, and we expect to see those increases again as things start to normalize. Our biggest areas of growth is we want to expand what we're doing. We would like to see a family engagement center at every single school site. So baby steps, right? We'll get there. Also, we're always looking for new ways to measure our success. We want to continue to keep our eyes on developing new metrics as we go. And last, teachers and staff often share with us that their credential programs or their admin programs never quite prepared them to effectively engage with families. So we want to continue to do PD in this area, as well as strengthen our ties to the universities so we can be a resource for them as well.
And so the big question is, what have we done? What has already done now that we have had to go through this COVID-19 shift? We have been extremely busy. And I just want to run through some things that we've been doing. Before, yes, the participation rate was above 10,000. But now, during the this past year, we have offered distance learning conferences. We have continued with our DLAC, our Parent Advisory Committee. We have had a reopening task force. We have been very, very busy. What does that look like? Just want to show you some slides.
Yeah, and we'll well, Ms. Dodge is going through the slides there. I see we are at time. They're requesting us to open the Jamboard. So just want to say my deep gratitude is with the entire family engagement team and the parents. You know, it warms my heart to hear from the parents that we heard from today. This is the reason we do this work. And when the parents are empowered and their students are successful, you know, their success is our success. And we've had the opportunity to see our parents become employees of the district or go out and start their own businesses to serve in the community. This truly is a team effort. And I'm just so grateful. So we'll, I think, get to the jam board and make sure we leave plenty of time for the next team. But just want to express my gratitude and say how proud I am of everybody here today. Thank you so much.
Amazing,
you, Mr.
amazing work. An amazing presentation, Val Verde District. And you know, the fact that you have all of these parents with the testimony from their very honest and vulnerable testimony, and the fact that you have your superintendent here just speaks volumes as to where your time and your value is. And so to all of you, congratulations.